to another video of me. I'm Jonas and I am also that dude from Germany, and today we are going to have a sit-down kind of video, and I will be doing a Q&A, and you guys were able to ask me questions on my Instagram. Go follow it right now if you haven't already. Yeah, let's just get right into it. But before we get into it, I want to talk to you guys about something. Me and a friend have made a survey where we asked exchange students if they have had experience with fears because of their exchange year or their time abroad. And so we made this survey and we want to make a YouTube video about it because we don't feel like we talk about this very often in the exchange community, and we want to change this a little bit. So if you want to take part in this survey, if you want to write down some stuff that you're feeling, we would really appreciate it if you would do the survey. It is linked down below in the description box. And yeah, thank you for taking time, and we will be making a YouTube video on this channel right here in the next few months. So let's get into the questions. Why did you decide to go on an exchange year? Why the US? So I know this might sound like a cliche or something, but back in 2015 I was in New York City for a few days and I really enjoyed the time there. It was just so incredible and I really liked it. And so this was when I first heard of the idea that I could make an exchange year in the US, and yeah, since then I just really wanted to do this, and this is why now I will be going to the US. Which questions there were in the IELTS test? So first of all, some of you might think, what is an IELTS test? So if you go to the US, you have to do this kind of language test where you get questions. They are mostly online, and you have like this grammar part and this listening and reading part, and you just have to answer them. And then in the end you get points, and also you get into this level, and then you need about, I think, 60% of the points, and then you can go to the US. But you can also, if you're not satisfied with your test, you can do it again and again as often as you want to. I don't think that there were that many questions that were very hard. There is this online IELTS test where you can test yourself before making the real test. So it's like this mock exam, and it actually helped a lot to do this, but you don't have to fear this. Your English is good enough when you had English for a few years in school, so don't worry. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, there's this listening part and this reading part, and in this listening part you get these passages, and then you have to hear them. You can only hear them once or twice, I think, and then you have to answer a few questions to each passage, but this is totally fine. It isn't very hard. And in the reading part, it is kind of the same, just that you're not hearing it, but you're reading it. And then you answer questions as well. Okay, next question. What if you want to get back home in the middle of your exchange year? So, first of all, I don't think that I would want to go home because I know what I signed up for. I know it's 10 months, but I think that these 10 months will end very fast. So I don't think that I would have to go back, but I could. So I mean, they can't keep me there forever, and I could come back to Germany. Of course, it's a little bit harder than you might think because I would have to go back to school in Germany. You need the right grades for that, or you have to be back before the second part of the school year. So yeah, but I don't really think I would want to go back because I think that this is a great opportunity, and yeah, I don't think that I will really want to go back. Okay, next question. Where will you live and what will you do there? So I will live in a host family. I don't know exactly where my placement is because I don't have my host family yet, but I will go to high school just like a normal student, but of course I am also a part of the PPP CBYX, so I will go to Washington and meet senators and politicians and talk to them, and I think that this is a great opportunity as well because I really like politics, and I think that this will help me understand the politics in the US better, but also in Germany better. Will your school grades count in Germany when you come back from the US? Yes, they will. I will get just a normal transcript in the US, and then when I get back to Germany, I will have to hand this in to my school, and they say, yes, you've been to school in America and you can come back and you can go into 12th grade. What do you think about your Abitur? So first of all, Abitur, this is graduation in Germany for the Americans, and about my Abitur, I will just come back, I will just graduate with everyone, because I have G9, so I have 9 years of high school, and then this isn't a problem. But of course, if I don't catch up with everything and I really have difficulties, I could also just redo 11th or 12th grade. Of course, this is also all the time a possibility. Yeah, well, how long exactly are you abroad? Well, I will be going for 10 months, so I will start in August, and so I will be back in the beginning of June 2022. So yeah, can you still do your sports in the US? I don't know yet because I'm rowing and I don't know if I can still row in the US, but I also don't necessarily need to because I think that it's also a great opportunity to just do something different, for example American football or baseball or something like that. So I would really appreciate that too if I could just start a new sport, and yeah, that would be great too. What do you think will you miss the most? Well, I think I will miss my friends and my family back home because I normally see them every day, and this will change drastically. I will not see them for 10 months only on FaceTime, but I also think that this will make me more mature, will help me later, and I think this is also a great opportunity. The next questions are on the PPP CBYX, and first of all I want to say something about this because I applied for it very late and I didn't have that much time to fill out my application, and actually the application process for 22-23, so for next year, is starting on the 3rd of May in Germany, and so if you're interested in that, I will put the link to the PPP from the Bundestag down in the description box below if you're interested in that. Okay, so the first question to that is, how did you apply and when? First of all, you have to apply on the Bundestag website. There's this box where you can fill out your application. This isn't a very deep application. They will just ask you for your constituency, so and then they will tell you which organization is the one that will take you to the US, and then you will apply at that organization. And then, as I mentioned in the video before, there is these so-called Auswahlgespräche, where you are in groups and you talk to someone from the organization, and then they ask you questions. So the next question is, which is your constituency? So I live in constituency 41. This is a part of Hanover. My politician is Kerstin Tack. She's from the SPD. And how did you have the idea to apply for the PPP CBYX? Well, I've been to a fair where they told you what possibilities you have to go abroad, and well, actually, this is also a question that I wrote down. did you apply for any other scholarships? And I actually didn't. I only applied for the PPP CBYX just because, as I mentioned earlier, I was very late and there were a lot of different scholarships and I didn't really get an overview of everything. And so also I needed this full payment of my exchange year because otherwise it would have been hard to pay for everything. And so the PPP CBYX is a very great opportunity and I really enjoyed that. And yeah, they told me back at that fair that this would be an opportunity, and I had never heard of the PPP CBYX before, but I read some online articles about it, and yeah, this was when I really became interested in the whole thing and when I started to work on my application. There's also the question, do you have any tips for the Auswahlgespräch? Well, actually, what I think you have to do is just to be yourself, because if you try to be someone else, it isn't authentic anymore, and they really search for this authentic kind of person. And what you also have to keep in mind is that this is a program that is about politics. So I think that you at least have to have a bit of an overview of the German politics, but also about the American politics, even though they don't particularly ask you about politics, but of course you have to know something about that and also about history, because in these Auswahlgespräche you also have to do this test about politics and history of both countries. So you really have, I don't think you have to learn that much, but you have to keep that in mind, that you at least have to have some knowledge for that. Then another question is, how did your motivation letter look like? Well, I haven't really written a motivation letter because my organization, Experiment EDV, didn't really need that. They had these particular questions that you needed to answer, so it wasn't a full text, but it was like these small parts, and I think together this would be a motivation letter, but without the dear so it wasn't 100% a motivation letter. So the last question is, any tips you would give potential applicants and how do you apply? Well, I think I mentioned a little bit how you apply. So you go, as I said, on the Bundestag website and apply there, and then there are these phases, and yeah, well, it isn't that hard, I would say. Just the fact that you have other applicants in your constituency. So this was also a question, how many other applicants were there? I'm not 100% sure, but I think in my constituency there were about 35 or 40. I'm not 100% sure. But I think that you just have to be yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not, just be yourself. And I think everyone can be proud who applies for this program, because it is a long time when you apply for this. You apply for this end of August and the beginning of September, and you get your scholarship in approximately February. So it is a long time, and you need to stay strong and you need to believe in yourself. Otherwise, I don't think that you can make it. But I really think that everybody can apply for this program, and it's a really great opportunity. So I really encourage you, if you want to go to the US in the next year, to go down there in the description box and visit the Bundestag website and think about this chance. Yeah, I think that those are the questions. I really had fun answering those questions. Thank you so much for submitting them on my Instagram. You can find my Instagram also linked down below in the description box. Also, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye!